Hello, my friends, and happy Thursday. What a beautiful day we had today in Wisconsin. It was sunny and perfect, and everything is in bloom. And today we're going to let our pins or brooches bloom. And let me show you. Let me show you what we are making today. So I have some fun sample brooches, and actually it's 2 different sets. Okay, so I can only put one set at a time on my hand. Maybe if I move them a little bit. So we have a set of single focal point stone brooches, and do you guys like brooches or pins? It's really kind of tomato, but tell me which one you like. I never know what to say. Or actually, these are fibulas also. And of course, pins are so crazy popular still. In fact, if you watch any award show, any music awards, Academy Awards, you see everybody wearing some type of a pin. And not even just women, men are wearing these really ornate pins. And it's kind of fun. You know, I don't know that I want Tony to wear an ornate pin, but I certainly would like to.
Jolene says hello.
Hi, Jolene, and thank you so much for joining us.
Fonda says good evening, everyone. Happy Thursday.
Hi, Fonda, and happy Thursday to you as well.
Ellen says hi, Irina and everyone, and sends a heart.
Hi, Ellen, and thanks for joining us. I'm sending all of you a heart.
Trudy says hi, everyone.
Hi, Trudy.
Allison says looking forward to learning this skill. Hi, everyone.
Yay, Allison. Thanks so much for joining us, my friend. Okay, ladies. So we are making a pin. And, oh yes, so tell me in the comments if you prefer brooch, pin, or fibula. And so a fibula obviously is a pin that has a mechanism like this to hold it on. And this is exactly what we're about to make. It's actually a very easy to make piece. It's a very, very simple project, and it's kind of timeless. These types of pins have existed for like a schmillion years. It's kind of a classic, or it's a take rather, on a classic Celtic pin. When I was traveling in Morocco, I saw fibulas like this, and they use them across so many different cultures.
Allie says very pretty and a nice way to highlight beautiful beads.
Thank you so much, Ellie.
Sarah says hello. Can't wait until Saturday.
Yay, Sarah! We're having our Shakerade class this Saturday. It's just 2 days from now. So I'm really excited about that as well. I love that technique, and we have a full class. I'm so looking forward to seeing everyone.
Beth says fibula, please. Hi, I'm from Waukesha.
Hi, Beth. Thank you so much for joining us. Okay, fibula it is. It's kind of, it does have a fun ring, doesn't it? A kind of a classic ring. And so it just takes a few beads to do something like this, or it can just be one single bead if it's a larger bead. So I actually have 2 different kits, and they are already in the Etsy shop. So they're in that same featured on Facebook section. And so one of the kits looks like this, and it features single beads. And I forgot, frankly, what we called that one. And then we have the mosaic kit, and it's a little bit more colorful because they're different colors of beads. And so this is the second kit. And so the fun thing, of course, about the second kit, or this kit, is that you can just remix and redesign the entire thing. And in fact, that's exactly what we're going to do. So I would love to demo on the mosaic one because, I just want to show you that you don't have to do it exactly like I am. You can remix it. You can just, just have fun, make it your own. And so we are going to design together. So these are the focal point beads that you will be getting in the mosaic kit. And these are the fun little beads that are going to go with them. So, it's not like a schmillion beads, so this should be a pretty easy redesign. So let's do it.
Katie S. says, Happy Thursday. Not sure why you didn't come up again, but tonight, but I'm here.
Hi, Katie. I'm so glad you joined us. I don't know why I didn't come up. I have been here all along, and I'm so glad you're here as well. I will say, we did start a little late. Sometimes, how Facebook can be just a bit temperamental. So my apologies, ladies, for starting a few minutes late, but here we all are, and hopefully a few more people join us. And okay, so let's make some choices, shall we? This is one of those projects that we're just going to design together. So we have the sample uses a so I love these beads. I have to tell you, I absolutely love these beads. They are made in Tibet, and they are a beautiful mosaic. It's an inlay of black onyx and howlite, and of course on the sides I have these faceted carnelian beads. And then this is a really fun ceramic bead, which is it just has this look of being crackled, which is really nice. I like that look with the caps on the sides. And then we have these blue beads. The 5mm beads are sodalite. And finally, we have the turquoise and lapis inlay. That is framed by those turquoise colored bead. That's actually dream jasper. So we're going to do a little bit of a remix. So let's see what we like. And I like to do this just so that you can see that you can remix it all and it's still really, really fun.
Becky with the 20 gauge wire from this afternoon is here.
Oh, hey, Becky. So nice to hear from you, my friend. Okay, ladies. So I just laid it out kind of experimentally. And with these pins or these fibulas, we will be using the flat spacers, whereas the single beads use a round spacer. And I'll talk a little bit about the choices of spacers and how important they can be in just a little bit. So what do you guys think? Do we like, so so I purposely remixed it so that we can see what it looks like with a different set of beads, something other than what I'm showing in my samples. So what do you think? Do we like option 1, option 2, or option 3? Option 1 being black onyx howlite dream jasper, option 2 being ceramic with the beautiful ant caps and sodalite, and option 3 being inlaid turquoise lapis with carnelian.
Althea says, hi, samples are pretty, and then she adds 1 or 3.
Hi, Althea. Oh, thank you so much for your input. Okay, since Althea gave her input first, we'll just take number 2 away.
Oh.
Oh.
Allison says option 2.
Oh, you like option 2?
Beth says option 3. Fonda says 3.
Okay, so far 3 votes for 3.
Kathy M says option 2.
Option 2. 2 votes for 2. Okay, how about like 2 more votes and we just make a decision? How's that?
Trudy says option 2.
Ooh, option 2.
Now it's a tie.
Wow, it's a tie. We need someone to...
Jolene says 3.
Jolene, you just broke the tie. Thank you so much, my dear. And we are going to go with option 3. Woohoo!
Beth says all are pretty, of course.
Oh, thank you so much, Beth.
Allison says option 3 wins. No problem. They're all beautiful.
Thank you so much, Allison. Well, you know what, you guys? The good news is that whichever option you chose today, as long as you buy the kit, you get to make all 3, and you can remix them your own way. So this is the option we're left with. This is option 3, and I have my little spacers, and of course the main event here is the wire. So for the wire, we are using 18 gauge wire in Beadsmith wire, and the reason I'm mentioning the brand is because especially those of you who have been watching me for a while, you know I'm really passionate about working with wire, and over many years, over multiple decades, I have gotten to know it very intimately. So for this project, we want half hard. However, when we buy base metal wire, it's never labeled as half hard. Is it a bit annoying? Yes, absolutely. And that is why I am telling you that half hard is the Beadsmith brand. We do have the Beadsmith brand in the Etsy shop. We also have it in the store. Except, of course, we sold out of it because everybody was stocking up on 18 gauge wire for this project. So just in case, if you don't have 18 gauge wire, 20 gauge wire will work very, very nicely. In fact, I have done this plenty of times with 20 gauge wire. But the one non-negotiable here is that it needs to be half hard. So this is half hard wire. How do we know it's half hard? Well, check this out. If you have wire and you want to check if this is half hard or dead soft, just push it down and see what happens. Does it spring up? Yes, this one does. Did you guys see how it springs up? So I'm just showing you how to check if you have the correct wire.
Karen,
If it springs up, it's definitely half hard. If it stays down, and if it's like very easily bendable, it's not half hard, it is dead soft. So the difference between half hard and dead soft is that half hard is going to hold its shape really, really well, and it's going to be quite a bit stiffer. So given that we're making a pin, this, in fact, here, let's do it right here. This will go through our fabric, should go through our fabric very nicely. Whereas if you are using, look at that, isn't that fun?
That's great.
So yeah, perfect, right? I was actually going to bring a sweater and just put that on a sweater, but I forgot to. So my table cover is just fine.
Burlap might be a little scratchy.
Yeah, don't wear burlap. Or do. It's actually kind of fun. It's beautiful. So the point is, identify your wire before you put all this work into it. Make sure that it is half hard. And then either 18 gauge or 20 gauge will do very nicely. Okay, so now, maybe I'll just leave it there for now. So now we're actually going to get started.
Karen says she buys the German style wire.
Okay, so German style wire can be either half hard or dead soft. What German style wire refers to is essentially a base metal wire that is, as far as I know, that is silver plated, which this is definitely silver plated over, I believe, copper. And you can make dead soft wire into something that approaches half hard by lightly hammering it, but be sure not to flatten it, because then it's not going to be, it's essentially not going to be workable.
Betty says, I love these pins.
Thank you so much, Betty.
And Jillian says, I purchased one of your pins from the last sample sale.
thank you so much. And you know what, you guys, we have an awesome sample sale going on right now. There's so many different pieces and everything is on sale, so come on down.
In the store.
In the store, yes, in the store. And you know what? Actually, I just thought about it. Every once in a while, I do an online sale. And I don't know, maybe next week is, I'm not going to do an all sample sale, but maybe I'll throw in some samples when we do the sale next week. I don't know. What do you guys think? So this is for next Friday. I kind of have a plan. In fact, you guys are going to love my plan because you've been asking for sapphires and rubies, and we got some in. And so that is part of my plan for the Friday marketplace for next week. Okay, but I digress. So let's get started because we have a pin to make. So we are going to start somewhere between I'm going to say 5 and 6 inches from the end. Do I need a ruler for this? I'm just going to estimate. Oh, I do have a ruler. Well, this is good. Okay, so when you get your kits, you will have this long length of wire. It's about 45 inches. It's really more than what you actually need, but you know, it's always good to have a little extra. So if you want, you can just go ahead and cut your wire into 3 pieces of 15 inches, unless you prefer to work from the coil, and that is totally fine as well. So once you have your length of 15 inches, we're going to measure 6 inches from the end. And with our round nose pliers, we're going to make a loop. So we're just going to start by making a loop with our round nose pliers. And once you have a full loop like this, can you guys see a full loop? So it's like a little overlap. We are going to grip this little loop with our chain nose pliers. And this is just to hold on because you never ever want to apply pressure and hold on to anything with your round nose pliers because if you, here, I'm just going to show you. Okay, prepare to be shocked and amazed. So if you happen to hold something with your round nose pliers and you grip it a little bit hard, look what happens. You actually get this, do you see the groove? And this is just from gripping the wire a little hard, but guess what? Once you have that groove, ta-da. And that is why I always remind everyone to not hold on to their wire with a round nose. It's so much more gentle when you hold on to your wire with the chain nose pliers. So you can see I'm holding on with my chain nose. I know it's a bit counterintuitive, but it is just how it is. So hold on with your chain nose pliers as you make this very, very open spiral. And look how I'm doing this. I'm not doing it the way we normally do by gripping with the flat nose pliers and guiding with your finger. But because this is such an open spiral, I am just holding on to that center and I'm guiding the wire. And you know what? So it's just a little bit wonky. And this is because I'm not actually watching the wire. I am facing the wire towards the camera. So it's a little bit, it's almost like I'm doing it a little bit blind. No worries. If you're doing this process, right, of creating the spiral, and you're not quite sure that you like the outcome. Let's say you want your spiral to be a little bit more round. No worries. I kind of purposely was a little bit sloppy. so that I can show you how to how to course correct. And it's very simple, you guys. This is how we're going to course correct. So we're just going to take our flat nose pliers, and wherever it's a little bit pointy, or I'm trying to think of an adjective, wherever it's a little rough around the edges, if it's trying to make a little bit of an angle like it is right there, what I'm going to do is just take my flat nose pliers and give it a little squeeze, and check it out. It just rounds itself out. Okay, so you can just work with your open spiral just like that.
Becky says, I purchased the sample pin today. Gorgeous.
Yay! Thank you so much, Becky.
Betty says, my husband cut 2 pieces of hard plastic so I can lay the wire on it and hit the other on the top to work harden.
Yeah, and actually, you know, it's very nice that he did that. There is actually a tool, it's a commercially sold tool that's available, which you can do the same thing with. You can also do it with a nylon hammer. There's so many ways to do that. That's a really, really good point. Okay, ladies, so I'm just going to continue guiding my wire. So once my spiral has grown a little bit, I can, at this point, grab it with my flat nose pliers and just continue. So whenever I feel like I'm done with my spiral, I will stop. And these pins are fairly whimsical, meaning there are these little zigzags that just kind of flow out of the spiral. And they can be made in so many different ways, but the main 2 methods are either use a chain nose or use a round nose. And I will show you the difference. I think I have something, yes, this one I made with the chain nose. So you can see that the zigzags are just a little bit more pointy or narrow. And then on this fibula, I use the round nose, and you can really see that the zigzag is just so much more rounded. So whichever tool you prefer, just grab that one, and we are going to make a few zigzags. So what do you think? A chain nose or a flat or a round nose? We could do a flat nose as well, but then we're kind of committing to a much wider zigzag. Okay, so I'm just going to use my chain nose. So I will start my zigzag right about here. And this is, as you can see, I'm pretty close to where the straight wire end is, right? So I'm not starting out here on the outside of the spiral. I'm starting on this side where it almost meets the shorter end of the wire. So let's make a couple of zigzags. And this is what it looks like. And when I make one, and then I'm going to make another one. And you know, you can make as many or as few zigzags as you would like. I am going to keep it pretty short, I think, and just make one more. So this is my last zigzag where I point the wire in the direction of the other wire end, right? So now they're fairly parallel. They don't have to be fully parallel. And so now we're going to string our beads. And we are going to string them on the long wire end.
Cheryl says these are beautiful. They'll go great with my crocheted shawls.
Oh, yay! Yes, these would be perfect for shawls. You're absolutely right. That's a fabulous way to use them. And of course, you can wear them on your sweaters, you can wear them on your coats. Maybe if your husband wears a kilt, he can wear it on his kilt as he is playing his bagpipes. Or maybe you play the bagpipes, who knows? We actually know somebody who does play the bagpipes very beautifully.
Kim K says, hi everyone, late but happy to be here.
Hi, Kim. You're really not that late. This is a quick project. I may just do it again and show you a slightly different variation. Okay, guys. So here are all of my beads, and they're strung on the wire. And now we're just going to make a couple more zigzags.
Kathy M says, are you going to show the brooch method too?
The brooch method. I'm not entirely sure what you're referring to. Can you be a little bit more specific? Okay, ladies, so in the meantime, I am making a couple more zigzags, and I'm going to finish my zigzagging with the wire with the beads on it. Okay, so we'll call it the beads wire rather than bare wire. And so as you see, I finished the zigzag with the beads wire pointing in the direction of the bare wire and crossing it. And now all I have left to do is simply make another spiral. So for my next spiral, I only need about 2 inches. If you want it to be extra large and extra dramatic, you can use 2.5 inches. So I'm going to measure, and I'm not a big measurer, you know, I'm usually a winger if I'm just doing it on my own. I like to wing. But if I'm teaching a class or if I'm doing a video, I like to show exactly how much I'm using. So this is 2 inches, and I'm starting another spiral, and this is how we're doing it. And as you can see, I made a loop, so this is another loop. And this time, I'm just going to cut away all of the excess wire.
Fonda is wondering if you can hammer the zigzags.
Yes, Fonda, you absolutely can hammer the zigzags. In fact, you can also hammer the spirals. As long as you do not overlap any, as long as you don't hammer anything that is overlapped. So you never want to hammer this little part where one part of the wire crosses any other part of the wire. And in fact, I actually have another little sample to show you. This is a sample from a while back. This is really a very, very similar design. This is what it looks like on the back, and I hope you can see this on camera, but I did hammer this entire pin. And not only can you hammer it, it's actually not a bad idea, because even though we're starting out with half hard wire, it's a super good idea to use half hard wire to begin with. But if you want to harden it even further, you can hammer it once you made the whole piece, right? So you don't want to hammer the wire until you have created all of the different shapes. And so you can see that I hammered it slightly, and it's both for the look, but also it's for the purpose of hardening the wire further.
Kathy M says that's the one, and she thought that one was the brooch.
Oh,
the one you're holding.
Okay, you know what? So I don't have a cabochon. I'm sorry, not a cabochon. I don't have a donut with me. However, I could show this a different time. In fact, we could make another video with donuts if you guys like. I was actually pondering that. I was like, do I do donuts this time or do I do beads? And I chose to do beads just because I was in a colorful mode. And so we're doing beads. But do you guys want to do donuts? Let me know in the comments, because this is obviously a slightly different style. But yes, I'm definitely happy to share it. But right now I don't have all the supplies on my table. So let me know if you want to see that as well. So anyway, we started making a loop and we're going to continue. So here's our loop, and I am just starting with a little loop like that. And obviously I used my round nose pliers to do that. And so once I start my spiral, it's a lot easier, especially when we're not dealing with the overlap that we had on the other side. So we obviously are not dealing with this overlap. So we can just very firmly grip it with our flat nose pliers. And do you see the little bit of rocking back and forth that I'm doing? So this is how you have control of your wire. So just keep rocking back and forth. Keep gripping like this with your flat nose pliers. And what you will see is that it's a lot easier to control the wire and make your spiral that much more rounded to begin with. Again, because I'm holding it at an angle where I'm prioritizing the camera, it's not entirely perfect, but again, we can always course correct. You can see that little bit of like an angular part. So no worries, put your flat nose right in there and give it a little squishy. Give it a little squeeze. And we have just rounded it out. And we can continue working on that. And again, if you choose to hammer at this point, you can hammer. Or you can leave it just as is. Okay, ladies, so now we are actually able to pin our brooch. However, I kind of, I do like this little bit of an arc. And so I am going to create that arc. And there's a slightly different way to do it as well. But this way is perfectly acceptable. So just create that little bit of an arc with your fingers. And let's go ahead and experimentally pin it. So it may work immediately, or you may need to do a little finagling. So I actually like this little part, the spiral, to be a little bit forward, because then it's just that much easier to go ahead and pin our fibula. Okay, ladies, so once we have done all of this, we are going to cut off any excess wire. And again, we have the option of working right from the coil. So if you're used to working from the coil, no worries. Then you're just cutting the wire and leaving the rest on the coil, or you might be cutting off a little piece. So I'm going to say cut maybe 10 to 12 millimeters past the spiral. And do you see how I'm holding it at a very dramatic angle? You guys can see that, right? And so I'm just going to cut. And so right there, with cutting it this way, we have a point. However, this is not a good way to leave it. This is a bit sharp and rough at the same time. So it's just a little bit dangerous. I don't like that. So we are going to unpin our fibula. And in the kit, you will get a little piece of sandpaper. And this is why you have the sandpaper. I'm just going to put it at the edge of my little workspace here. And I'm sorry about the sound. In fact, maybe I'm not going to do it all the way because I know it's a really annoying sound. Okay, so this is all you're going to do for as long as it takes to sharpen it, but also at the same time to make it nice and smooth. And once you are happy, like if you feel it this way, I like to feel it this way. So once you're happy with the sides, don't forget the very, very point, because you don't want it super sharp. It's not a weapon. So just spend maybe like 2 seconds doing the same right on the point, just to round it out a little tiny bit. And that's it. It's just that easy, you guys. It is so super, super simple. So what do you think? Do you have any questions? So, so my pins, as you probably noticed, have like maybe sort of 2 variations. And mostly they have to do with where the wire comes from and the path of the wire. So, you know, I'm not really even sure if it's enough of a variation that you want to see how to do it the other way. So you let me know in the comments, do you want a second demo to see how this is done, where the actual pin part of it comes out of the top, you know, like comes out of the spiral this way. I don't know. I know I didn't explain it amazingly well, but let me know if you guys want to see this.
Fonda says yes to the donuts.
Yay, donuts! Thank you, Fonda. That's good feedback. Anybody else for the donuts? And these are not the edible kind. Nah, Tony. I know Tony loves his donuts, but these are not the kind that he likes. So, so let me know if anybody wants a donut demo other than...
No, the wire demo.
Yeah, the wire demo.
Allison says yes.
Yay.
Angeline says yes.
Awesome.
Althea agrees to donuts.
Oh, cool. Yay. So we'll do the donuts. Maybe I already have a plan for next week. I'll be giving you a little preview for next week. But maybe we'll do the donuts the following week. What do you think? Like the donut pins. I think that would be super fun. I like making pins.
And Trudy says yes on the wire, which is what you're going to do now.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're going to do right now. Okay, ladies. So you should probably know that when we open the package of wire, sometimes it's perfectly smooth and lovely, and sometimes it needs a little bit of help. So we are going to just straighten it. You see how it has like a little bump? And I certainly hope that everybody knows about the lovely, lovely nylon jaw pliers. It looks like this. So if you guys already have this tool, awesome, you're ahead of the game. If you don't already have this tool, you need it. I don't even know, do we have this? I know we have it in our brick and mortar store, and I don't think we have it in the Etsy shop. You know what? I have a really great idea. Next week, when I do the video...
They're in the shop.
Oh, they are in the shop. Fantastic. So I don't need to include them. Okay, so...
Fonda says yes on the wire, and Beth says sure to donuts.
Yay! Awesome. So we have a plan, ladies, for like 2 or 3 weeks from today. It's the donut plan. So this is how the tool works. If you have like a little bump, a little... you know, a little something in the wire, you just use the nylon jaw pliers just kind of to draw the wire through, and look at this. It's like magic. It is a magical little tool. It's fantastic.
Fonda says, I love my nylon pliers.
Awesome. Yay, Fonda. I'm so glad. Okay, guys. So This is going to be essentially the same demo. We're just going to have a slightly different wire path. So this is a bit of a review, and it's like, I don't know, it's almost like doing it right-handed versus left-handed, if that makes any sense at all. Okay, ladies, so again, we are going to start with our round nose. We're making a loop, and I started about 7 inches from the end. I think 6 will probably work as well, but you have the wire. Why not start 7 inches from the end? Okay, so we're starting out with this little loop, and as soon as it's overlapped, that's it. We're done, at least with that part of it. And now we switch to our chain nose pliers. And now we're going to gently guide the wire around the loop.
Lori says, good evening, Irina and Tony.
Hi, Lori. Good evening, and thank you for joining us.
Becky says, Beth needs gluten-free donuts. All of our donuts at Eclectica are gluten-free.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, we actually have a lot of gluten-free friends, so we know all about that.
Allison says, wow, I'm learning so much. Thank you.
Oh, yay. Thank you so much, Allison.
And Allie says, what you did with the wire would be a great pendant.
Yeah, why not? I mean, you know, you turn it this way, you get rid of the actual pin part, and why not? This is a pendant. You can certainly do the same thing. Or you can do this as an earring, maybe scale it down a little bit. Personally, I love long earrings. I don't love heavy earrings. And this is something that would give me the best of both worlds. It's both long and very lightweight. Okay, ladies, so we started out with the spiral. We're going to do that thing, you know, where we do a little bit of course correcting. I'm not going to do a whole lot because I kind of like the slightly organic nature of it. And so now, so let me point out the differences. So before we started with the spiral, and the end that came out of the spiral became the bead wire. This time, the end that came out of the spiral is going to become the pin. So we're going to do, and guess what? Now we have an opportunity to do another little remix. Oh, actually, you know what? I'm going to do something else. I am going to show you why I use the round beads when I use the single beads. So for one set, you have the flatter spacer because I really think it looks so nice in between these beads. And then we have these single beads that we're using for the other set. The thing about the single beads, they all have a larger hole. So when you use a flat spacer with a larger hole, it just looks really wrong. Okay, this wire end is a little wonky, but I got it on. So this is the flat spacer, and you can see there's like a little gap. And that little gap happens because the hole is a little bit larger. So in order, and I know I put on the wrong end, but that's not really the point I'm making. But in order to really keep the bead, that single bead in place, we are going to use the round spacer, which is going to slightly go inside the hole. So let's do it. Let's make a couple of little zigzags, and this time we're going to use the round nose just to see how it's going to change our the look of our fibula a little bit. And so I'm just making that little bit of a zigzag, and again, I don't like how loose that zigzag is. So I will do a little course correcting and make it a little bit more dense.
Jane says these are beautiful.
Thank you so much, Jane.
And Lori says, sorry I'm so late. Did I miss the most important instructions?
No, Lori, you didn't miss anything. Because actually I'm doing it again, and it's a slightly different variation, but it's yeah, so it's just so very similar. So whenever, I think I'm going to do one more zigzag here. So again, using my round nose pliers. So whenever you feel like you are finished with the zigzagging part, we are going to make another bend. And this time we're making the bend where it's perpendicular to the rest of this wire. Also, it more or less is parallel to the bare side of the wire. Okay, and now we are going to string our lovely little round beads, which are going to hold our focal point piece in place. And because they're round, they're just going to go right into that opening, and you see how nice that looks with the round bead. So even a little spacer, the shape of the spacer makes such a big difference. So that's why I always like really think about every little part of what goes into these kits. Oh, and I think I just lost my other round beads, so we'll put it right back on.
Lori says, thank you, I love these.
Oh, thank you so much, Lori. Okay, so we could make another zigzag, but this is getting kind of long, and this is a fairly large bead. So in fact, this is actually very, very similar. So I think I am going to just not make any more zigzags on the other side. So what we're going to do next is use our flat nose pliers and make a 90-degree bend toward the bare wire. Okay, so now, do you guys remember how much we need for the remaining spiral? We need somewhere between 2 and 2.5 inches. And so we'll just split the difference and cut right at 2 1/4. So I'm going to start making my spiral, and this is going to be going in the opposite direction of the bend. And the chances are you're probably going to want to cut off the very end of the spiral, because this is always going to be straight. And we want to get rid of that straight part. So I always cut that off. And continue making the loop. And once you have a full loop, we can switch to our chain nose pliers. And you know, if you're comfortable, you can make the entire thing with the chain nose pliers. It's an option. Or you can do what I'm going to do right now, which is switch to the flat nose pliers and in a very controlled way, make that nice open spiral. So you want to make the spiral nice and open, because that obviously is a part of our mechanism that allows us to use it as a pin. And you know, it's always going to be maybe a little wonky. And so you know how to course correct just by giving it a little squeeze here and there with your flat nose pliers, which is what I just did. And again, I'm going to push some of the inside of the spiral a little bit forward, and this allows me to pin it very easily. So this is what it looks like. And just as before, we're going to cut off the excess wire using our cutter. And you want to do this at a nice angle. Do you see how dramatic the angle is? So cut it, and then we are again going to sharpen it. And you know, since I already did this part, I am just going to kind of just mimic it, because I know how very, very annoying that sound is, especially when you're watching. So make sure you follow the directions to both smooth the sides and also dull the point of the fibula just a little bit. And that is all there is, ladies.
Trudy says, love the blue one.
Oh, yay. Thank you so much, Trudy. Well, again, if you want to make these, here, let's lay them out. I guess I'll have to unpin this one from my burlap. And so if you want to make these, we do have them in the Etsy shop in 2 different styles, the single stone style as well as the mosaics. And so this is the remix, right? So each kit makes 3 fibulas, and you have everything in the kits to make whatever you just saw here. Okay, do you guys, and you know what? This, I'm just going to put this right here just so that we can look forward to the donut video in 2 to 3 weeks. I have to figure it out. And in the meantime, I'll give you a little preview of what is coming up. And we might as well put this one here as well. Okay, so we have all sorts of exciting things coming up. I hope you guys join me tomorrow for, here, let me tempt you ladies, ta-da, for the second part of Pearlapalooza. So we did a really fun pearl video 2 weeks ago, and we were only able to cover about half of the different colors. So for the most part, this is going to be about the blues, the purples, the greens, the grays, but also we're going to be showing some large hole pearls as well as large hole stone beads. So that is going to be super fun. You guys have been asking for the large hole stone beads, and I promised you we're doing it, and we're doing it tomorrow. And also we're going to have more Charlotte beads, because everybody got so excited about all the sparkling Charlotte beads, and that was really fun. That was part of last week's video. So I have more for this Friday, and we're going to do a little revisit of the Sparkling Creations by Jess. The trunk show is still going on. And so I will include just a few of her beautiful one-of-a-kind pendants tomorrow. And that, and there's some surprises. There are some things that I didn't mention, but I can't possibly tell you everything because there's so much. But wait, there's more. So this is the preview of our Delicate Facets bracelets, and this is going to be next Thursday, May 2nd. And this is something I designed with summer in mind. So this is next Thursday, May 2nd at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time on my jewelry design page, where you guys are right this moment. And so we have fun colorways, very summery for the most part. And what else can I tell you? Yes, I should definitely also tell you about the show in Michigan that we're doing. So, and I know it's hard to get there if you're not from Michigan, but if you're from Michigan or maybe from somewhere close to the Metro Detroit area, you might want to come and visit us. And I would love to see you. And so with Tony and Lauren.
And that is May 4th and 5th at the Sheraton Novi.
Yes, thank you, Tony. The 4th and 5th. So that's next weekend. And so it's going to be us and a few other beady friends. And of course, Lauren will be there. And some of you guys know Lauren. And so there are 7 vendors in all. So it's a small boutique show. It's going to be so much fun. Oh my gosh, we're so excited. And they're going to be
Goodie bags.
goodie bags, yes, for the first 15 people each day. We're going to have goodie bags that we're putting together. So we're super excited about the event.
Betty says elegant and dainty on the bracelets.
Yes, thank you so much. So you can tell that these are really quite dainty. They are 4mm rounds and 4mm cubes, and the cubes are Swarovski, and some of the rounds are Swarovski as well. Okay, ladies, and I believe that covers everything. So we made 2 pins, and I think we have another comment or possibly a question.
Karen says, I'm glad I can make the sale tomorrow.
Yay, Karen! So I'm so looking forward to the sale tomorrow. It's a great time. I have a lot of fun treasures for you guys. Can't wait. And do we have another comment?
Yes. Kim K says, sounds like fun. Love the bracelets.
Yay!
Allison says, thank you. And Trudy says, my daughter and I plan on coming on Sunday.
Woohoo, Trudy! We will see you there. And thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Thank you for your input and for all of your awesome comments. I will see you tomorrow morning, and have a wonderful and creative evening.